Hi and welcome to a new weekly tarot card reading. My name is the Stars Tarot, and together we're going to have a look at the cards for the week of Monday the 22nd of December until Sunday the 28th of December 2025. So let's just see what kind of energy is going to show in the cards for this week and see what we can expect. And of course, this week covers the Christmas days. So happy holidays to everyone. I hope you're enjoying the festive season. And let's just have a look at the cards and what they have to tell us. Okay. So I always try to, zoom as much into the collective energy as I can. So these cards may not resonate for everyone, but it always gives a good idea of the energies of the week. First card from Monday, Tuesday. Second card, Wednesday, Thursday. And then the last card for Friday and the weekend. All right. Let's turn these cards over. All right, so the first card is the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is a card of community celebration. It's a card of really enjoying celebrations with one another. So it's usually really comes in the sense of a community because of the illustration here that you see this tent, which is kind of the symbolism for a community or a tribe, as you can also put it. And you can see here how these two women are just kind of really immersing themselves into a celebration together. So this is a card of having achieved something, some kind of greater goal. And now you actually have time to look at it and go like, okay, we pulled this off and let's just celebrate all together. So this, it also makes sense to kind of see this in terms of the holidays because, communal celebration, most people spend the coming days with friends or family members. So it might also really show that there'll be a very light-hearted energy full of celebration and joy and, really enjoying spending time together. So that's a really nice start of the week. I just want to see what the second card is, and we might come back to the first one again. Okay, so the second card is the Ace of Pentacles for the middle of the week. The Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning. It's a new start. It's an offer of something tangible that is kind of like the seed in which it can still sprout into something, something bigger, something that still needs some time to tend to, but the offer of something new, of like a new energy, is right here in the Ace of Pentacles. So the Pentacles suit is applied to the material world, so everything tangible, as I said. So the material world, including finances, health, wealth, but also your sense of stability, security, really feeling like you're planting the seed in the ground before the roots really start taking. And you can see how, this you can kind of see here in the illustration as the moment when you are planting the seed. And you can see the roots are already there, but it needs to have a hold on to something. So that's why aces are always an indication of a new type of energy or a new start, a new beginning. But it still needs something more. It needs more energy for it to become something real. So often this is really related to, for example, new ideas coming in, or new thoughts, or new inspiration, a new project, a new offer. And this can actually also be quite literal because, pentacles are connected to money, finances. So the pentacle could also be a gift of money, for example, during the Christmas holidays. So maybe there is some type of monetary offer that is coming your way, which I'm sure no one minds to have to receive that. So this can really just show you how this new influx of new energy is offering you some sort of new start. So that's really lovely to have in the middle of the week. Seems to be very appropriate. And then the weekend, the Tower. So the tower can be a bit of a tricky card because on the one hand, it can be a chaotic energy because it shakes things up. You can see how this lightning bolt is like striking this illustration here. So it can often mean that something unexpected is happening, and depending on where your viewpoint is, it can be something that is surprising, but perhaps not in a good way, like something unexpected where you go like, okay, I didn't really see this coming, and it's like such a surprise. But it can also be from the other point of view where you are welcoming a surprise in the sense of like, okay, things needed to be shaken up or something needed to be rebuilt and it was just necessary. So it really depends on your own context, which way the interpretation is connected to your particular situation or context. But what the tower is promising us is that a foundation that was built is not really working anymore in its current form. And the tower is kind of bringing in this new jolt of understanding or experience or kind of connecting the dots where you go like, okay, this is why it wasn't working. And it means that we can now rebuild something in a better way in which the structure will last because the structure is just not stable. And that's why one moment of a lightning strike is making this tower collapse. So this can be, again, something frightening, something slightly chaotic, but it apparently is like a change that needs to come in. So I'm curious to find out how that will apply to you watching this video. Yeah, surprising or not, sometimes we also are forced to go into a change. Sometimes it's kind of out of our control, but then the universe is sort of, controlling the force to us in the sense that if you're not changing anything, then we'll make the change happen. So it can also be that, or it is a change that you set in motion and now it's becoming a reality, or now you're kind of seeing what the course that you set out is really lining up to. So, like I said, it can be a tricky energy, but it's needed to restructure foundation to find something new that fits better with who you currently are. So quite an interesting week with the Four of Wands, the celebrations, the new beginning in terms of health, wealth, new projects, a new start of energy, and then the Tower when things are shaken up a little bit so that we can actually have a look at what we've done so far and decide how to redirect the energy into something more constructive. So interesting week. Let me know how this resonates with you, and happy holidays. I'll see you next week. Thanks for now. Bye-bye.